So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now listen, man. These days, saying something is weird is pretty much an understatement, but we're gonna get to all that. All right? I just need y'all to know, man, it's okay to question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
This was the weirdest fog I've ever seen in my life, hands down. This was a bubble, a literal bubble of fog around Denver. We were in Evergreen and we looked down from the mountains and you could see blue skies everywhere, literally blue skies everywhere except for this bubble of fog. When we entered the bubble of fog, the temperature dropped 25 degrees. I'm not even exaggerating. On the way up to Evergreen, we were in the bubble and drove out. The temperature instantly went up 25 degrees and it was like instant blue skies. We were shocked. So this was the weirdest, this bubble over Denver. There was a column coming up from the middle of the bubble right into the sky. Hands down the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is a video of inside the bubble. It looked way worse in person. This was the...
But yet they want us to believe that this is normal. This ain't normal, bro. This is not this. Come on, man. Y'all act like we didn't grow up seeing fog. No. This is something kind of different. And I'm not saying everything that everybody's showing is something different, but some of this fog, bro, come on, you have to know that this ain't normal.
This is definitely not normal, bro. This is very strange. I can even like taste chemicals. Like, I literally don't feel good right now. It's really weird. This is not normal.
Bro, she says she could taste chemicals, bro. Like, what are we dealing with right now? What's going on?
Hey guys, it's Chris Peacock, and I'm over here in Houston, Texas, and I live in Katy, but has anybody seen all this fog every day? Every day for the last 2 weeks we've been experiencing fog that pretty much starts in the morning and never goes away. So for 2 weeks we've had fog, and then we've had people every day for...
Listen at him sniffing the entire time he's... You see that, right? Like, you just caught that sniff, right?
Last, I would say 2 weeks at my work, at my work in general, I've had 7 people to 8 people be out for 3 to 4 days because they get fever, they get itchy throat, they get sore throat, they get sick, they just don't feel good. And even when you walk out in this fog, it smells like burnt fireworks. Like, it's strange, and I'm hearing this all around the world, but this is here every single day, never goes away. Like right now, it's putting a bad taste in my mouth. But guys, if y'all are in another city or state, just let me know, comment, and tell me what's going on.
Bro, I get y'all are trying to be reporters and get us the information. We appreciate y'all, but put a mask on or something, bro. Some type of something, man. Like, if you're tasting stuff, like, you shouldn't be out there. No. Oh, this is for the people who didn't believe, right? This is for the people when I talked about, you know what I mean, the birds and different things that you think is flying around are actual birds, but they're not. They're actually possibly drones or some type of spying device that's monitoring you, watching you, recording you, getting information about you, gathering data about you. Like, we're seeing it. This is a bionic bird, bro.
We have some updates regarding Luigi, and one of them I find very interesting. Now, the first update is that he pled not guilty to his charges, which I don't think anybody is surprised by that. But the second one is that apparently before he fell off the grid, before Luigi stopped talking to his friends and family, he was interested in the writings of a guy named Gurwinder Bogle, who was a writer, journalist, whatever, for a publication called The Prism, and he subscribed to this guy on Substack, even paying $200 for a founding membership. Now, in that founding membership, that got phone calls with Bogle. Now, one of the phone calls they had was about 2 hours, and Bogle says that Luigi was actually very interested in solutions. Yes, they did talk about, in passing, the healthcare situation in America, and he basically said, well, since you're British, you have NHS, which means that you're lucky, and they had that discussion, but that was about it. And he described Luigi as being optimistic, not really a doomer, and having maybe a somewhat pessimistic worldview, but I mean, hey, who doesn't? He also said that Luigi was interested in action and trying to change things so others weren't resigned to the same fate. Now, all of that said, that's not what was interesting. What was interesting was what he had to say about the manifesto, which is basically that he doesn't believe that Luigi wrote it. I'm going to quote what he said. It's low quality. It's just the words themselves are low quality, but also it's only 262 words. And I thought that if he was going to do something like this, he would have spent a lot more time writing something substantial. Just let me know what you guys think about this new information. And of course, don't forget to hit that follow.
That makes sense too, especially knowing his past, valedictorian, all of that type of stuff like that. And listening to one of his roommates speak about him as well. And yeah, that doesn't seem like him now. It ain't like we know him, but just from what we've gathered, the information, it seems kind of off a little bit.
Update. So I'm trying to, if I get time, answer people's questions. People are asking me a lot about other people's cases. Look, I'm going to follow on here the P. Diddy and the Luigi Mangione case. I'm glad people are showing interest in the system, and I think we can learn a lot together. People are asking what's happening now. Well, what's happening now is they're really doing a deep dive in the investigation. And they're going to be doing what's called DNA fingerprinting. What is DNA fingerprinting? When you touch any surface, like these are my headphones, so if I touch them, sometimes you leave your oil on anything you touch. And the science has become so sophisticated that they can lift that DNA off of anything you've touched. And they can then get your DNA, and then they can do a comparison. And so it's pretty tough evidence to get over. The only way you can kind of get over it is to test or say there was cross-contamination at the lab. But that's probably what they're focusing on more. They're probably talking to way more witnesses. They're probably looking at a ton more footage. And they're talking to a lot of witnesses. And they're doing ballistics. I guarantee you they're doing ballistics. Now, we don't know what they have, what they don't have, because they haven't released anything else yet. And so I'm going to keep an eye on the dock and keep you notified, but that's what they're doing right now. They're DNA testing everything. That water bottle they said they found, that candy wrapper, the casings that were left at the scene, because if you're loading a weapon, your DNA can go onto that, although I've never had that happen. I've handled a lot of murder cases where casings were left and never seemed to be able to get the DNA off of it.
A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer. While obtaining regular meat is a process that's been taking place for millennia, cow, butcher, beef, Redefined Meat, a meat alternative startup out of Israel, makes their product using a highly technical process. The mix of soy and pea protein, chickpeas, beetroot, nutritional yeast, and coconut fat is formed into steak-like shapes using a 3D printer.
Our goal is to become the largest meat company in the world just by harnessing technology instead of animals.
Meat substitutes are not new, but unlike the soy-based crumbles that mimic ground beef, Redefined Meat's product is designed to act, taste, and cut like flank steak.
This is the holy grail of alternative meat.
But the most important part, how does it taste? This diner was happy.
The texture feels right. Even the smell smells like the real thing. Really authentic for meat.
A juicy, sizzling steak made by computer.
Listen, it's no way for me to know, but it's gonna be hard for me to try that right there, bro. I've eaten steak my entire life, fam. Like one of my favorite foods. And you're gonna sit here and tell me a 3D printed steak is gonna take the place of an actual ribeye steak or a T-bone? Like, no, it's no possible. I don't know, bro. If it's anything like those sodas that you drink that have those aftertaste, like, yeah, no, bro. What is that? Aspartame or something like that? I was trying to, like, that aftertaste I can never. So I would imagine this has some kind of something that lets you know that it could smell and somewhat taste like it, but it still reminds you at the end that this is 3D printed meat.
We're back with the new lab-grown chicken that was just approved for sale in the U.S. Could be headed to your dinner plate. Devin Dwyer has the details. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, George. Americans ate 75 billion pounds of red meat and chicken last year. But what if some of that meat was not raised on farms, but instead of high-tech facilities? Scientists say that could be good for the environment and your health, and soon it could be on menus and store shelves. This morning, the USDA has approved cell-cultivated meat to be sold to the public for the first time.
So that's where it all starts, just a few cells.
2 cultivated meat producers now getting the green light to begin commercially selling their chicken, not raised on a farm, but in a facility. The meat is grown using real animal cells and large bioreactors fed with nutrients. I recently got a tour of California-based...
Bro, they about to turn us into giants. Like, you think the food now causes people to be 7 foot tall and this and that and the third. You about to see 10 and 12 footers walking around, bro. Or even taller than that. You about to see giants, man. They about to bring them back.
Upside Foods, the nation's first and largest cultivated meat producer.
You're making chicken in there.
Yeah, so if you look at this is approximately a 200+ liter tank. And we take cells from a chicken or an egg. It takes 2 weeks to grow the equivalent of 1 chicken, 1,000 chickens, or 100,000 chickens.
So you're saying in this factory you can make more meat faster and cleaner than an average farmer?
Well, ultimately, yes.
The company says cell-cultivated meat could help feed the world's booming population using a fraction of the land and water of animal farming and help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Many experts say more study is needed. I got to try this cell.
Then maybe they'll go back to giving us the whole wing instead of giving us pieces of a wing and selling us and charging us for that. Like, that irks me. I don't know about y'all, man, but when did we approve them cutting the chicken wing in half and giving us a drum and a flat and counting that as 2 wings? No, that's 1, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Cultivated chicken at the facility in California, guys. I got to say the texture was a little bit different, but it did taste like chicken. The company says they hope to get it on restaurant menus in the next few weeks, then maybe on store shelves in the next 5 years. And dozens of startup companies are getting in on the game, guys.
You mentioned the texture, so is it more like tofu?
You know, George, it was pretty close to chicken, but maybe a little bit rubberier. You have to give it a try for yourself. A restaurant in California is going to roll it out next month.
Would you guys try it?
I think I would. I do like the reduction in animal cruelty, but we'll see.
I don't know, rubbery didn't sell me.
I've been thinking about becoming a vegetarian.
I literally canceled my New Year's Eve and my birthday plans because I felt like something was so off, and I didn't want to be out of the country if whatever thing that I felt like was going to happen actually happened. And then I saw a bunch of news about these planes crashing. I also keep on seeing these things about fog, and I've been driving to work thinking, why is there so much fog everywhere? This is so creepy. And to come online after being so offline and seeing other people talk about the fog, it's just, everything is so weird. I'm also feeling like, okay, everything with the election and inclinations towards that, Kamala potentially coming up, is also there. It doesn't even feel like 2020 COVID. It feels like something so much different. And I feel crazy because my dad's like, what are you talking about? My sister's like, what are you talking about? Everyone's like, what are you talking about? I feel like a conspiracy theorist. I literally canceled my New Year's.
And it's crazy that some people are walking around unaware, because I used to be that guy back in the day, bro, unaware of what's going on in the world. Didn't have a clue, didn't have a care in the world. And it's people walking around like that still to this day right now. You know what I mean? But this also poses an even greater question that she said at the beginning when she started off. Traveling. What are y'all doing? Are y'all traveling right now? Or y'all staying in place, staying home until this stuff blows over or you figure out what's going on? What are y'all doing right now? You know what I mean? Are y'all traveling? Are you going out? Even greater question. Are you going out of the country? What are y'all doing right now? And what are your thoughts? Do you have vacation plans coming up? Let me know. I'm curious to know what are y'all doing?
Jesus Christ. It's over our house.
It's going over everybody's houses.
Are you kidding me? Where did they go?
They're back over here. Above the tree.
Now this is in North Carolina, if anybody's wondering or speculating where this is at or where this took place at. This was before the new year in North Carolina.
This is a joke?
I don't think it's a joke. I think
whoever's doing this won.
Nobody
They
that
won.
could do that amount of.
If it was an airport, I would still see lights. There are no lights anymore.
A light from an airport's going to be consistent. It's just going to be circling.
There's no consistency in
This
anything.
is going direction.
Look at it. There's nothing.
It's
gone.
over there again. It's a big UFO.
You're shaking.
It's freaky. Look at them all. You can hear
No way, that's car noise.
No, baby, those are cars.
Mama. Look at the shape of cloud. It's in a line.
I'm not worried about the shapes of clouds, son.
I'm worried about everything.
I'm looking at...
That's a smart kid right there, bro. They raising him right. They raising him right. Hey, he said, I care about everything right now. So do I, little buddy. So do I.
What you can't see.
They're over there again. So they're in this spot and that spot. That's where they are.
That's flashy one spot. You gotta send me these videos tonight.
Where'd it go?
Bobby, look over there.
See, it's not an airport. It's not a airport. I don't give a what anyone says.
Well, you're not gonna have lights over here, then lights over there.
Where did you go?
And why would they shoot? That's the other question. Why would they shoot? They're not.
So what you think they doing when they just be stopping there? Like, do these things be stopping and hiding from people? You can't zoom in because for some reason, yeah, it gets distorted. Come on. I see you. You guys gotta move in formation or something? Can't come on at once? Alright, I'm gonna leave you alone because you scare me now. I'm not feeling safe about this. Alright, have a good night. Okay guys, I'm about to blow your mind. If you follow along on my page, you might not know that I am a huge science nerd. And I recently came across this study that was done about plasma. I'm not talking about bodily plasma. I'm talking about the fourth state of matter. We have solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Plasma is just an ionized state of gas that has positively charged ions, negatively charged electrons. If you have no idea what I just said, think lightning, think stars. The sun is made of plasma. So anyways, recently they came across plasma bubbles hanging around over top of the pyramids of Giza. Kind of like so. So they did a deep dive case study on plasma. When I say they, I'm talking about them. And I'm gonna break it down for you and tell you what they found. First off, can we note by saying that they are referring to them as plasmoids? Why would they refer to them as plasmoids? When I started reading it, I was like thinking the same thing. Why are we calling them plasmoids? They're calling them plasmoids because they're saying that they have intelligence. and that they're conscious, intelligent, conscious beings, plasma. Right here they say based.
Let that sink in for a second. Sips of water. Yeah. Conscious, huh? So maybe when some people or try to communicate with it, it responds, or it has intelligence. So yeah, all of that makes sense. You know, the lady sitting outside talking and it looks like the thing is responding back to her. It's a possibility. Interesting.
Based on factual evidence that some plasmoids may be sentient and conscious of their surroundings and engage in purposeful interactions. Long story short, this is like an 80-page case study, and it basically says that they torment spacecraft and aircraft. Specifically, the ISS and astronauts, spacecraft in general, they will form around them. They'll buddy up with each other and mess with the astronauts at the windows. It's crazy. A little further down on this page, it says that they engage in complex behaviors and what could be construed as curiosity and evidence of intelligence. And like I just said, astronauts reported that glowing like plasma entities have appeared outside the shuttle windows, often traveling from window to window as if looking inside. They're being accused of surveillance, mimicry, and toying with and harassing the aircrafts. Here's kind of some photos of that. Right here is the ISS, and the little balls all around them are plasma. In this study, they're also saying that UFOs pretty much are plasmoids. Something else noteworthy is that they're saying that they may have incorporated all the necessary elements for the synthesis of RNA leading to DNA and thus life. Basically saying that DNA exists because plasma exists. If you've made it this far, you're probably like, what's your point? What are we getting at? Plasma's intelligent, so what? I want to talk about this. When you look at the electrical discharge formation of plasma in a laboratory, this is what it looks like. Everything else here is ancient cave drawings. Just take a moment and look at it. Just look. This.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, that's a heck of a connection right there, bro. You know how much wall art or cave art we've looked at, or on stone and different things we've seen throughout the years on this channel, bro? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
This is the point I'm getting at. What did they know that we don't currently know? These are drawings from all over the world. Look at these places. And they were all worshiping the same thing. Plasma. I don't know, it kind of makes me wonder. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, so what happens to your soul when you die? Are we all just plasma? Let me know what you think.
Arresting a man accused of at least 2 stabbings on the subway last week. Jamar Banks facing assault and weapons possession charges after he was accused of stabbing an MTA employee Thursday and another man on New Year's Day. We're now learning the suspect has been arrested, drum roll please, 87 times. Joining us now is the founder of the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa. Curtis, you've been in the subways, you tell me, since 1979. Now,
who is his lawyer? Like, how do you get that many arrests? They ain't say charges, they're saying arrest. That's insane.
you and your team are back there. What brought you back there? Cases like that?
It's never been worse, Brian. And we have a combination where when you descend into the subway, it's a combination of Dante's Inferno, Clockwork Orange, and Jack Nicholson in The Shining. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This guy you're talking about, 87 priors, not hard to find.
Living in the subway.
He lives on 2 lines. He only is a creature of habit, rides the 2 and the 5 train with a knife in his hand. The cops lock him up. D.A. Bragg, you know his name, cuts him loose time and time again. He's a threat to everybody in that subway system. Then they put out an all-points bulletin. This man is extremely dangerous. Well, let me tell you something. Everyone is in danger on the subway. Look at that woman who was turned into a human torch.
From New Jersey.
Debrina Kawam, cheerleader, all-American girl, the Jersey girl. See, when I'm dealing with the homeless and emotionally disturbed, which is what we Guardian Angels do because they're the forgotten people, they're Americans. And migrants, they put up in hotels. Americans, they allow to sit in their squalor and ride round and round. We don't help them. And when we talk to them, we find out they're people just like you and me who just had a hard time, and now they're forced to live on the subway. And our officials, our governor and our mayor, do nothing.
But not only that, they are bragging. The governor has cut a video showing how great it is on the subway, bragging that we have cameras in every subway. Good. Now we can video the assaults as they happen, and the attacks
and then
as
do
they
nothing.
take place.
Right, and then do nothing.
So the NYPD can't staff an academy like they used to. Right. So because not enough, we don't have enough cops on the subway. It's all related to the fact they're not backed up by the mayor, by the and the governor, because there's no qualified immunity. You're going to get sued if you put your hands on anyone. There's cameras everywhere trying to get you.
Right? Imagine you're a cop, toughest job in America in New York City, because you can't do anything, and you find out instead of putting $1 billion back into your budget, which they took out when de Blasio was the mayor, and they were dancing the whore and the tarantella, they gave $5 billion to illegal aliens. $5 billion.
Bro, this is a PSA for all you tourists. For everybody who's a tourist, myself included, when I go to New York, tourists. But most of the time, tourists come from out of town and go to New York, and they want to ride the subway because they've heard so much about it. I'm not one of those tourists when I go to New York. No, I'd rather drive my car, get out, see what I want to see, go to Times Square, go by Cat's Deli, get me a sandwich. Sandwich, yes, I said sandwich. Get me a sandwich and head back across that tunnel and get back to New Jersey to my mom's crib. Like, that's all I want to do. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get on no subway because, bro, this is the type of stuff, and it could go down at any moment. Nah, I'm cool with that. I don't need to be there. I don't need to go. Nah.
And they gave nothing to the cops. So imagine you're a cop. Do you want to stay in New York City? You're being recruited from all over the country where they're offering you a much better pay scale. They treat you better, and they let you be a cop. We have flight, not just of people in New York City and New York State, but desperately needed cops. Put the cops back in the subway. You won't need guardian angels. And stop fare evasion. Because if you just let people come and go into the subway, you're going to have more of these problems.
Just let me just full circle. Congestion pricing, first time in America. By going into the middle of a city, you get charged $9. You go back and forth. That's pay coming out of your pocket. They want to force people into the subways to get them off the streets. And that's where the crime is happening, which they can't curtail.
Yeah, well, give everybody who goes into the subway a bulletproof vest and have them an individual police officer, like Eric Adams, the mayor, has 12 with him, armed cops, like Kathy Hochul has 12 state superintendents. These politicians are delusional. They'll tell you, Brian, it's your perception of crime. Perception. What a boom, slap in the face to everybody who's got to take the subway and pay their taxes.
So he's back in the subways. He's been there on and off when needed since 1979. Says it's worse than ever before. That's a permissive DA backed up by George Soros, who was just given a Medal of Freedom award over the weekend. Thanks so much, Curtis. Great to see you. We'll see you on WABC.
My pleasure. Bye.
Okay, they're trying to get us smoking again, and I can tell you why. Because every single movie in the last year or show, it feels like, that I've seen has super hot main characters, and they're always smoking a cigarette. I feel like it never used to be like that. I feel like it's just been recently in the last year or two. But it feels like really big, popular, trending titles all have a lot of cigarettes. And I think they're really trying to romanticize it for the younger generation. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm watching a movie and I'm like, I like him, and he's smoking a cigarette, and it does kind of romanticize it for me. I feel like you cannot get popular. There's some sort of conspiracy, contract going on with the cigarette companies and marketing and movie producers that if you feature their cigarettes in your movie, you're gonna get bumped up on the popularity list. I don't know. Okay.
Nah, they never stopped, in my opinion. And you looking at a person that used to smoke cigarettes, bro. They never stopped. They never stopped making it look cool, in my opinion. They never stopped, bro. No. You probably just now paying attention, but in my opinion, what do y'all think? Did they ever stop? I don't think they've stopped since the beginning. They've came up with new and creative ways to make smoking cigarettes look cool.